Peace and blessings, everyone. I'm Bree.
And I'm Lisa.
And you're watching or listening to the Ask Bree and Lisa podcast. How you feeling?
I feel lovely. I'm excited for what's to come. And it's been great so far. Great weekend, great week. It's been lovely.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I feel awesome. I feel empowered. I feel big. I feel bold. I feel free, liberated. I feel like myself.
That's the key thing right there. Feeling
liberated
free.
and free. Yeah, I feel like we broke out of some self-inflicted or self-imposed chains that we didn't even realize we had them on us. But
no. And that's what we're going to get into today,
that's exactly what we plan on getting into today. So this is episode 2 of season 2. As some of you may already know, we've been doing our best lately to really get a grip on our production, get a grip on how we want this podcast to come off.
Yes. And
the messages we're trying to portray. And the reason why we struggled a lot in season 1 really is because we didn't know, we wasn't being ourselves.
Yes.
We wasn't showing up as our authentic selves. We wasn't being consistent, and that all ends now. We are here, and the time is now.
And we upgraded a bit, right? So we had a couple things that is making this run a little bit more smoother. Yeah. So yes, the growth is there, and I'm excited for what's to come with this season and the growth from there.
Yes, it's been a journey. We are enjoying the journey because throughout the journey, no matter the ups, the downs, the trials and tribulations, we know through all of that, we are growing. We respect that fact. We're growing. We're getting better in so many different ways. So we don't get too much caught up on, the downs and everything, the things that come through to bother us. Because we've definitely, like Lisa said, we made some upgrades recently. For instance, just a simple small investment to get these microphones, super huge difference in how we approach content creation. And also, tripods, new phones, great phones with great cameras, ring light, and the idea of setting up the other phone, her phone, for B-roll content. It's all the little things that people have already been doing, people have already mastered, and instead of getting hung up on what people have already been doing, we're starting now, and we're making it our own. Yes. And it's a learning curve for us. This type of stuff has already been.
So we're excited for y'all to grow with us.
Yeah. Needless to say, I digress. I'm just excited because we're finally coming into our own, and this is our podcast. This is our show. This is our business. This is us. And it feels good to just,
step
show
in
up.
Our truth. Yeah.
Right. So today you want to let the people know what we're going to be discussing today?
All right. So the topic of today, we're really excited. If you can't tell, that's why we're just like going. but the topic for today, right, is pretty much our awakening in business and what has awoken in us and our new journey or new beginning, if you will, on what that's going to look like for us.
Right. Is awoken a word?
Awoken.
Yeah, you said that earlier, and it made me wonder if is it awaken?
Awaken. Maybe it's awaken.
Awaken in us. Either way, you get the picture. You're showing up as your authentic self, just like. Right. But you said it earlier, and I was just like, "Is awoken a word?" Yes,
awaken. Maybe that might be the right terminology.
To add on to what Lisa's saying, our journey, our realizations, with being in the finance industry, having mentors, having coaches, having trainers, hearing from so many different people that are in the position to help guide us through the finance industry. There's a lot of people that's been in the industry for years, months, decades, weeks. We just recently crossed over into our 1-year mark of being in the finance industry. And of course, at the beginning, we had a lot of imposter syndrome. We had a lot of doubts, even though we knew we didn't want to quit. It was tough.
Yeah, and the imposter syndrome is a direct,
clear indication.
Like it just marries as to like what we realize. Like it's a direct reflection. There we go. It's a direct reflection of how we were moving in business initially and how we are going to move now. And so,
right.
I want to say like the what brought us to this realization was our amazing weekend that we had just this past weekend. Yeah.
Oh man.
It was a great conference. Shout out to Forbidden Knowledge and the Conscious Awards.
Second annual,
right?
Conscious Awards.
Thank you for
Forbidden Knowledge.
Thank you for providing that space for us and everybody else that was there, right? So that's where it started. The conference was really impactful. I literally left that conference crying, but in a good way. Because
wait. Let the people know what you're talking about, because we mentioned the second annual Conscious Awards show, and then now you're talking about the conference. Let the people know.
So it was a 2-day event. Right. Mm-hmm. So first there was a conference where it was powerful, people that are making a difference and have made a difference. It was a very empowering panel of speakers, mm-hmm. right? They've really made a difference and are making a difference on understanding a lot of things when it comes to this reality and this world as a whole. And so we got to, again, hear from amazing speakers. There was a women's panel that was super empowering to see all these women in this boss lady role, to kind of just go up there and speak on how they balance and how they work and how they move and what works for them and what doesn't and how they handle certain things. We heard from a couple of people, Muhammad
Ibrahim, mm-hmm. Robert Edward Grant, mm-hmm. Merkaba 13, mm-hmm. Billy Carson,
yes,
Elizabeth Carson, and then the women's panel was Ashley Joy Boyd. It was Mystique. I don't remember her last name. It was Courtney Kane, I think. Mm-hmm. And then there was Olivia Smith, mm-hmm. Olivia Ramirez Smith, and then there was Kika. I remember their names.
Right,
yeah, shout out to me.
Right. But that's how impactful they were. Like we remembered every single individual that spoke because of each one presented so much. Like I can't read and do enough research in a day because I just want to like soak it all in.
Right then in that moment.
Right then in that moment.
I mean, got notes right here from the conference,
and but I got notes in my phone.
It just wouldn't do it justice because that's not our intention for today's episode. Maybe on another episode we can go into a little bit more details about what was talked about during that conference and mm-hmm. what we took from it. But one of the main and top realizations, epiphanies that came to mind from that whole conference, especially the women's panel, was the realization of how we haven't touched the success we feel like we should have been touched in the financial industry, in life, in our business. We realize, wow, we have been mentored and coached and trained by so many different powerful, successful people. We forgot to be ourselves. We've mirrored the language, the look, the approach of so many different people. And we woke up and not like woke up from like physically sleeping, but we woke up from a somewhat of a sleep.
Right.
And realized we have not been our true authentic self. Somewhere in the midst of our journey through the financial industry, through owning our own business and building a business, somewhere along that line, we forgot to be ourselves.
And that goes hand in hand with that imposter syndrome that we were talking about.
It goes hand in hand.
Because we felt like, oh man, as us, we don't feel like we belong here. And so therefore we tried to mirror and move like, I mean, these
and we did it well.
right. We did it well.
We did it well, but it didn't work for us. No matter how well we did it, we didn't see the success we expected from it.
Right. And it's not to say that, you know, having mentorship or having coaching or having those role models are a bad thing. They're great, especially if you want to just move a little bit faster in what you're trying to do in business.
Success leaves clues.
To have that mentorship and to have that coaching is a beautiful thing. But you can't lose sight of you, because we were trying to mirror them so much that when we fumbled in a sense where we were like, man, we didn't say this exactly like them, we beat ourselves up for it because we were putting all this pressure on, I need to move and be like this individual.
Yeah. And then just out of nowhere, it's just like, wait, we have to remind ourselves, tell ourselves, demand it from ourselves. It is okay to be our true, authentic self. It is okay to show up as us. It's okay to mispronounce a word. It's okay to say It's okay to
stutter a bit, or you know,
it's okay to have a slight speech impediment in the midst of talking. It's okay to be human.
Right.
It's okay.
We were trying to operate like robots,
right? And then the frustration of looking up and realizing, you know, like, why haven't we came in contact with enough people? Why haven't we connected with enough people? We have phone calls in our business. We have Zoom meetings in our business. We talk to so many people in a day, in a week, strangers, people from all over the country. Yet we don't have the network that you would think you would have after connecting with so many people. Like, first of all, not to brag or boast, but I am gonna toot our horn just a little bit. Toot. We are cool people. We're all right. We're cool to be around. I feel like personally, it's a blessing to be around us. We like to have fun. We don't like to be belligerent. We're not rude. We're very considerate of other people's presence and things like that. Yet we forgot to take up space. You know, as we started to shrink ourselves for other people, thinking it was the nice thing to do.
Trying to fit a mold.
And like, here's the thing. In those moments, we were doing ourselves in the world a disservice by not being ourselves, you know, because at the end of the day, I personally believe that we all, as fellow human beings, we all have a responsibility to be ourselves, show up as ourselves, and be authentic, because first and foremost, everyone else is already taken. There's only one you, and you are the only one that can do you how you do you. You never know who out there, who you may encounter at the grocery store, walking down the street, anywhere, anytime. You don't know who needs to see you show up as you. So it gives them the permission and the confidence to show up as themselves. Like, that whole saying, if you want to be the change in the world, you know, start with the man in the mirror, right?
Right.
Well, we've found ourselves in situations where we got a lot of confidence by looking up and realizing, if they can do it, so can we. And it's because they showed up as their self, you know, because fake energy, it's obvious. You will see it, you will feel it, you will smell it. So when we look up and realize somebody's being authentic and being themselves, we realize if they can do that, surely I can do it.
And we take to that naturally as people, right? Like we can naturally sniff out like, yo, this person is just trying to present themselves in a way that doesn't even seem like them. And that falls back onto a lot of the connections that we didn't necessarily make, because even though we can have that conviction in our voice, there was still that uncertainty of, I'm not sure. I don't really know. Am I saying this right? Because that's all in the back of our head while we're speaking. Am I saying this right? Do I look what a financial professional is supposed to look like?
And we'll never look like what the standard of a financial professional, because the standard is a older white male. We
won't ever be that.
we will never fit that mold.
But that's it. So that's exactly what we mean. We were trying to like wear this, like, oh, I have to be this way. I have to wear this. I have to look like this, and I have to make sure that I present myself in order for me to convince the other person. All the while, I am unconvincing the other person because I'm not showing up as myself. Right. Because you can just sniff that out. Like imagine, you're just going on a meeting. It's okay if the person is nervous, but if you start sniffing out that they're not being authentic, aren't you going to be ready to get off that meeting or get ready to get off that phone call?
Because you're ready to deny anything they have to offer.
Right, because they're just not showing up as themselves. And we were so nervous with even taking certain steps in our business, like certain steps forward, we were nervous about doing and taking those steps because we're like, we can't be like this person. So how are we going to be able to do this if we can't be this person
and have the same success they have? And you said something about like that you mentioned the word uncertainty in a way that made me realize we were working and operating from a place of feeling unworthy.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like
the imposter syndrome.
Right. Like we weren't worthy to show up as ourselves. Mm-hmm. We weren't worthy to have the same success as the next person just because of who we are, or where we come from, or how we look, or how we sound, or how we talk. We was operating from a very, very low vibrational place.
And that literally was the trajectory of our business. Because we were operating at a low vibrational place, we literally blocked all these blessings that were trying to come our way because we didn't feel like we were worthy of them, because we were so hard on ourselves with not being like this other person or that person, so we put so much pressure on ourselves that we literally blocked all these other blessings that were trying to come our way, because we were moving with so much uncertainty. And just, it was almost like we just didn't know ourselves. We were literally sleepwalking. We were sleepwalking in business. We were just sleepwalking because this was a new endeavor for both of us as far as getting into, really diving into this type of finance. I mean, yeah. So, it was something new. So then we felt like, oh, naturally, we need to exactly mirror these people. And although they're amazing people and they're making an impact in their own way, but that's exactly that. Right. They're making an impact in their own way.
And it's a blessing of opportunity to be in a position and to have the opportunity to learn from these people.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And we just
got lost in all of that sauce, that we forgot, like, oh, we are our own selves. And the individuals who we are reaching and who we want to reach and who we really want to make an impact on, right. They're counting on us to show up as us.
They are.
Because
I'm sorry. How are we going to serve our community, our target market, if we don't show up as ourselves? They will never have the confidence to believe that they're capable of financial freedom, of financial independence, of financial success.
Correct.
They'll never believe that they're worthy of breaking generational curses if we don't show up as ourselves and show them they are worthy, that they can do it.
Yep, that they can do it.
Just learn what you need to learn and always be yourself. That is so...
And take the actions in what you learn, right? So we can't, our target market is definitely women, right? And women,
millennial women
around that
late 80s, late 1990s. That's our niche market. Why? Because when we talk to our niche market, we're talking to ourselves. We're talking to us. And and that's a nugget. That is a nugget right. For anybody out there that's
write it down, take notes.
That's a nugget for anybody out there that's looking to, sell a product, sell a service, whatever the case may be. If you're struggling trying to figure out who your niche market is, even if it's the same industry as us, pretend like you're talking to yourself.
Right.
Boom.
That's it. Boom. How would you want to be spoken to? And so like, I want to say this clearly, right? So we, Bree and I, Ask Bree and Lisa, are here to empower women with breaking those generational curses when it comes to finance.
You hear that? Did everybody catch that? AskBreeandLisa.com, Ask Bree and Lisa podcast, Ask Bree and Lisa.
Yes.
We are here to empower women, millennial women, women in general. We are here to empower women to take back their financial power. Understand that. Know that. That's who we're talking to us when we say that. We're talking to women that come from the same background or similar backgrounds as us, similar upbringings, coming from families that just didn't do right with their money. They didn't know any better. They didn't have the financial literacy. And mixing all of that know-how and all of that realization into just being ourselves and being ourselves. We're very spiritual people. We're very in tune.
What do they say nowadays? The woo-woo.
or the woke.
No, we're not woke. That's different.
That's political. Either we're not gonna get into that.
But anyways, and that's how we want to approach these individuals, is more on that holistic, spiritual, and authentic way, because it starts with mindset, and then it goes deeper than mindset, because what was your past? What was your ancestors, or your mom or dad, what was their past with money? Like, what were they taught? Because all of that is brought down from generation to generation. Right. And so that's why we say that we're here to break those generational curses, because just because you see it being done this way
for so many
years does not mean that that's the way that you need to operate.
Right. Especially if that's not what you want. If you don't want to live the same life your parents and grandparents lived, you have the power and capability. You damn near have the responsibility to change that in your favor. I wanted to say what I feel like my true definition of success is. No matter your passions, your talents, your careers, your industries, you must show up as your true authentic self, because that fulfillment, that satisfaction, that service, that is true success. That is true success.
When you are standing in your power and at your highest vibration, if you will, and you are confidently showing up as you and presenting yourself like, I am apologetically me, that just puts you at a higher level to receive all of what you deserve and what you feel like you deserve. But you need to stand in your power and know confidently what you bring and provide to the table.
Right. And all right. So the saying, mind your business, right? Boom. The saying, mind the business that pays you. Boom. Now, in light of minding the business that pays you, right? In light of being our own bank, we pay ourselves. We can get paid for just existing. It's all in mindset, yes. So if you mind the business that pays you, and that's you're minding you, and you just said, standing on business, stand on business that is you. Stand on you. You are the foundation to everything that you do. You want to be a content creator, an artist, a videography. You want to get into finance, photography. You want to get into computer engineering. It doesn't matter. It starts with you. It starts with that thought, the ideas. It starts with your willingness to learn. It starts with the actions you take to build those skills. It starts with you. So stand on the business that is you. Mind the business that pays you. You are capable of paying yourself. You do not have to depend. You shouldn't be depending on somebody to pay you what they think you're worth. And if you're doing that right now, I implore you, I encourage you to figure out what it is that you could do that makes you happy, because they say, if you do something that makes you happy, you can get paid, you can generate an income. And if you're generating an income doing things that you love to do, you're not working.
Exactly.
You're having fun and you're living life. So, in a world where so many are imitating others, it's imperative that we are true to ourselves. That is really the whole topic of today, of this past weekend. You don't need to feel shame. You don't need to feel guilt.
Because there's people that can relate to you as well. Like, people are looking for those examples. There are women right now, and possibly watching this podcast, or is watching this podcast, right, that is looking for that reflection. Like, oh man, if they can do it, if they are standing proudly, if they are in the finance business, if they are establishing their own bank, if they're smarter with money, if they have a healthier relationship with money, then I can do that too.
Right.
Because our family doesn't come from a healthy relationship with money, right? They don't come from being financially literate, but
it's based on the examples that was presented to
right,
us,
that was passed down. But we're here to break those change. We're here to make that difference. So our past family and like all of that past does not have to dictate what our future and what our family's future is going to look like.
Right. Because at the end of the day, you need you. The world needs you.
Absolutely.
You are needed. You are enough. You are worthy. You are deserving. You are.
Yeah.
And if you needed permission to believe that, here it is. You have our permission to just live out loud, live boldly, be weird, be different, be you.
Because people are looking for that. People are looking for that. They're looking for the weird and the different and the quirky and the
right.
funky. And
like, how many of us, because of social media, because of the age of technology that we live in today, how many of us, I know I have self-diagnosed ourselves and realized, oh, that weird little tick or that weird little gesture or that weird little is different. How many of us have stopped feeling ashamed for it because we get online and realize
it's not just me.
It's not just me. It's not a misery loves company situation. It's I'm not alone in this, and I don't have to feel so different.
And it provides.
And we're pack animals. We're not pack animals. We're pack creatures. As human beings, we are pack creatures. We like to belong and fit into a crowd, and that's not everybody. Not everybody instinctively likes that, but as a whole. As a human race, we like to be in packs. You want to be
accepted. You want to be accepted. That goes with being in a pack. Right. You want to be accepted.
Right.
Everybody wants to be accepted.
But to get on social media and realize, oh, that's what that little thing. That's what people call ADHD. Okay.
Or whatever whatever it may be.
And I'll take it a step further. We got people that deal with ADHD or practice helping people with ADHD or whatever whatever words or letters you want to put there that help you, that help others use it in their favor. Like, it doesn't have to be a crutch or a handicap. It doesn't have to be, disabling. It can. I've seen people make money and be successful and have fun and live their life online because they realize, oh, that weird little thing that I got going on is because of this. But it all comes back to them realizing and accepting themselves, being themselves, and before you know it, They got a massive following online, and it's not just a following. It's they're making an impact. They're influencing people. They're showing people it's okay, and it's giving them that permission. And that's just something I can personally relate to.
So, with all of that being said, the point is that you need to show up as yourself. It's great to have those examples, and people are looking for you. People are looking for you to show up as you, so then they can relate. They can kind of get that, like, oh, okay, maybe I'm just not so weird, or oh, okay, if they can do it, she can do it, he can do it, then I can do it too. You know, so that's what we've come to realize, and moving in that robotic state, or trying to wear all of these masks,
we're done.
can impact you in much more ways than just your business. Like, it can impact you on a personal level. It can impact you if you're in a relationship with a significant other, like being in business with each other, and both of us trying to wear these masks. It caused a lot of friction.
It caused a rift
in our relationship, because we're like, you're not being or saying it like this person.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, obviously, because we're not them.
We're not them.
And we're not going to approach it in that same way. And our target market, our community, if you will, isn't looking to connect with those people. They're looking to connect with us. They're looking to grow and learn from us, right, from how we learned, from how we're delivering the message, because you guys can relate to that.
Right.
If we and you'll see that difference, especially if you tuned into season 1 compared to tuning into now. You will see how the approach is going to start turning.
Yes, and we're so excited about it, because when you mentioned we were sleepwalking, neither one of us has experience with sleepwalking that we know of.
No. Sleep talking, maybe, but not sleepwalking.
Right. It's sleep mumbling, the sleep farting, but not sleepwalking. But when we came back from this amazing weekend in Miami for the Forbidden Conscious Awards, 2nd annual Forbidden Conscious Awards, coming back Monday afternoon, it was like we woke up and didn't know where we were. It was hard to get back into the the groove of things with our business. Taking calls.
Our spirit was like almost like
it was repelling
against it. Like, wait, no, you can't.
After going through what we went through this past weekend, when we came back home and we were back surrounded by what we left here, and it was time to get back into things and things like that. It was hard because we knew we couldn't approach it the same way after experiencing what we experienced, after hearing what we heard, after feeling what we felt, after meeting and shaking these people's hands, the people that want you to just be you and be true and just wake up and realize there's more to life than the mundane 9 to 5, than the mundane pay a bill, than the mundane of living the same way without having financial freedom.
Or living life like others.
Instead of being yourself. And it's like, man, it's what today is,
Thursday.
We're going to post this tomorrow, Friday. Coming back Monday afternoon, between Monday afternoon, the rest of that day, then you got Tuesday and then you got Wednesday. The discussions we had yesterday specifically were so powerful and impactful for both of us. Lisa asked some very hard questions that I couldn't just answer until, she just kept talking. She kept talking and bringing up certain questions. She would ask the same question in a different way until something snapped, something triggered. And then I got up and I knew what needed to be said. Mm-hmm. And the realizations that happened was like, all right.
Again, more tears, more
feeling. And I was like, all right, because I'm going to be full transparency. I was not happy doing what we were doing with the financial industry. As much as I don't want to quit, and I know I'm not trying to quit. I know it's for me.
You just weren't happy in the way that we were moving.
And I was like, look, if this keeps up, I can't keep doing this no matter how lucrative it is, no matter how many people I actually get to help. I'm going to have to find something that fits me, that makes me happy. I like cooking. I like gardening. I like doing a lot of things, working out.
And that's because we felt like that we couldn't
like we had both. To choose. Like we had to choose.
Either be this type of persona and this is how it is, or and we do this.
We do not have to choose. And that realization really hit yesterday in our conversation. Yeah. That's why at the start of today's episode, we were just like,
we're excited because we're excited to show you guys.
Yeah.
And it also holds us accountable, right? It also holds us accountable. Well, we're really excited to show you guys of our growth. Like just this past weekend alone just made us really realize a lot. And then that conversation that we had yesterday was that much more impactful and powerful, because if you are moving and you are not operating from a space that aligns with your spirit, you will be unhappy.
I'm trying to tell you, like your belief creates your reality.
So if you're sitting here thinking like, man, I can't stand this, or I'm not happy. If you're waking up every day and you are not thankful, feeling blessed, excited to get your day started, then you need to sit and reflect on a couple of things to make the difference. That doesn't have to be life because it does not. That does not have to be life.
Like why has humanity as a whole given away their power to create their life, to create their reality? Yeah. They've given it away. It could be the food, it could be the air, it could be the water, it could be the fluoride, it could be the movies, the entertainment,
but we can take
the music.
Steps to heighten.
You can take steps to be to coexist with what we all know as the Matrix. It could be a little messed up when you sit back and realize the things that are just happening that are normal. Yeah. It's like it can be messed up. You know, it's a list of things: police brutality, politics, the list goes on. But if you learn to realize I can coexist with this stuff and still be me and still reach new heights, greater spiritual heights, and be okay, I can create my reality. People are doing it every day.
And you got and that's from remaining positive and standing in your own alignment, right? Mm-hmm. Like you have to stand in your own alignment and stay positive. Again, be the change that you want to see in the world.
Stay balanced. Remember what Dr. B. Serious said. It's not about being too high vibrational or too positive. It's about being balanced. Because you can't have light without dark. You can't have good without bad. Right. Yeah. So find balance.
You have
in whatever way that is for you.
Yeah, in whatever way, because again, you are the change that you want to see. Mm. So you need to operate in that. You need to operate with that mindset. You know, like all businesses that you want to create, all change that you want to do, it all can be done, but don't let somebody else tell you that's not the way that it should be done, so don't do it that way.
Right.
Because again,
forge your own path.
Forge your own path. Ride your own wave, right? But if you're gonna ride your own wave, own that wave.
It's your wave.
Own that wave. This is my wave.
Surf it.
You
can surf it standing up. You can surf it on your belly. You can surf it without a surfboard.
However
it's your wave.
And that's what we learned. Just this past week, we've realized that we absolutely love what we do. We love the opportunity to be able to empower women to have that financial knowledge. And we are so passionate about that movement, right? Because I mean, we accept all women, but especially women of color that come from a background and a very known background of it's this, and this. Right. You see those unfortunate similarities. You see those unfortunate similarities, right? When it comes to a household with, people of color and how the education is just kind of missed when it comes to the finance world. And I mean, granted, they don't really teach this in schools much.
And that's by design.
And that's by design. And that's as a whole, right? So we need to, Bree and I, understand our purpose. It's to, one, show up as ourselves, because people are looking for us.
And two, be the change that we want to see in the world.
And be the change that we want to see, because everybody deserves to have that abundance, to be successful. Everybody deserves to be happy and to be living in their purpose. And whatever your purpose is absolutely valid. There is nothing crazy or outrageous or whatever it is that you may hear. Like, I had an individual in my life that was trying to convince me out of doing what this is. They spent a lot of time trying to convince me of not doing this, but I stood on that. I stood on that. I was like, no, this is because I seen the benefit of this. I seen the way that it can change people's lives. What we do is so important. It can literally change the trajectory of an individual's life. You were walking in this way, you understand and now have a better understanding of finance, investments, what you can do, how you can make your money work from you. And you literally, it's a 360, it's a 180, it's a complete change now from how they're living their life now to how it was before we literally sat down and educated them.
Yes. Needless to say, the world, like as an artist, the world needs your art. You know, the world needs your expression. The world needs your service. If whatever you're doing, whether you even realize it's in service of others or not, the world needs that. Why? Because we're all individuals, but we're not individuals. We're all one. You know,
just experiencing different,
experiencing our oneness in different ways.
In different ways, yeah.
So it's just imperative that you listen to your spirit, move with your spirit. You know, that's the one thing that's not going to lie to you. And I know I've probably been quoted saying this on different podcast episodes in season 1, but move with your spirit, because that's the one thing that's not going to lie to you. That's the one thing. Family might lie to you. Friends might lie to you. Anybody has the capability of lying to you, but your spirit
will not.
Your spirit will not lead you astray. And if your spirit says, text that person, call that person. Your spirit says, get up and go for a walk.
Do it.
Your spirit says, start that business.
Do it.
Your spirit says, start that podcast.
Do it.
Your spirit says, create that content and post it. Post it.
Do it.
Don't edit it.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
It just needs to be
has to be done.
Come on,
because people aren't looking for perfect neither. I don't know about you. I'm not perfect,
and I don't want perfection.
We don't want perfection. So if I'm gonna sit and try to look like that, goes exactly back to what we were saying.
What can you learn from perfection? Everything that human beings has learned came from something not being perfect.
We are here to learn and experience.
Come on now. So it's a beautiful thing to be in this opportunity. It's a beautiful thing to be here right now. It's a beautiful time to be alive. We are in the age of what it is, Aquarius, the age of technology, the age of knowing,
the age of information.
The age of information. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Like, our perspective on AI and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency all changed at the conference.
Thanks, Merkaba.
Thanks, Merkaba 13. That man right there, he's on to something, man. He changed our whole mindset on coexisting with the changes in the world, coexisting and finding balance, finding something good in it, so it offsets the negativity
and that's where you should be. That's where your mindset should be. That's where you should be
looking for harmony. Always look for harmony and balance and
the positivity in things. You know, that's just. But all in all, you guys, we're just really happy that we are or have awoken.
Right.
that we woke up from the sleepwalk, that, you know, we're finally getting out of this robotic stage in our lives and just kind of coming into our own, because again, we love what we do. We love the impact that we make on individuals, but we weren't doing our community any justice by showing up like everybody else other than
trying to be
us.
other people. Yeah.
And the way that it affected us internally reflected outwardly, and it just caused, and it could cause, but it did start to cause this downward spiral of, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I don't, da 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 da. You know, like, so that imposter syndrome, you guys, is real. It's a real thing.
But you don't have to own it.
But you don't have to own it. That doesn't have to be you. Understand that you are worthy and perfect as you are.
Right.
And so don't think that you cannot be in this room or you cannot sit at this table all because of who you are. You can absolutely sit at the table. Matter of fact, just like what we're doing now, because we're stepping into our truth and our power, we grabbing a chair and making that room. Excuse me, we are asserting ourselves here. We are asserting ourselves now. And we are asserting ourselves proudly.
Right. Shout out to Adi Kaur. I hope I'm saying her last name right. But shout out to Adi Kaur for helping us realize we should be taking up space.
Yeah.
We spent too long shielding ourselves and shrinking ourselves. We should take up space. Mm-hmm. We should be loud, be bold, be us, and show up. So shout out to Adi Kaur. By the way, real quick little shout out. Adi Kaur is on Insight Timer. Download that app if you're into meditations, if you're into, and
if you're not, you should get into it.
And if you're not, 10 out of 10, highly recommend. But she's on Insight Timer. This month she's doing a 30-day or 31-day of meditation. Today we did day 8 for the Lionsgate 888 portal opening. If you don't believe in things like that, I don't know what to tell you, but it's worth getting into and reading into and understanding.
And if you happen to be in Alabama, check out
Birmingham, Alabama, Ingle Nook Yoga Studio, the first Black-owned yoga studio of Alabama. She owns that. Adi Kaur owns that, and she runs that, and she runs a very beautiful practice. So if you're ever in Birmingham, Alabama, check her out, look her up. But she's Adi Kaur, the Black Yogi Tribe on Facebook, Instagram,
and the blackyogi.org.
And by Black, it's BLK, Breathing Living Knowledge. But shout out to her because she's our closest, most intimate mentor in life and spirituality and yoga and business.
A life coach.
So I had to shout her out because a lot of the things that we've been learning and the epiphanies and awakenings that we've been having.
She's low-key been telling us this whole time.
Low-key,
but high-key at the same time.
But high-key. But of course it takes experiencing, hearing it in other ways from other people in other environments and situations. And things just kind of clicked. When you're in a room full of high-level, spiritual, successful people that want nothing but the best for you, even if you're a complete stranger that they don't know. When you're in a room full of people like that, it changes your life. It can change your DNA in a sense, because everyone that was fully tuned in, tapped in, and turned on this weekend at the Forbidden Knowledge Second Annual Conscious Awards, everyone that was there, that was tapped in, tuned in, and turned on, they all said the same thing online. If you check out anybody that did that hashtag Second Annual Forbidden Conscious Award, they all had the same epiphanies. Like they're still on a natural high. Yep. They woken up. They feel something. They feel their DNA has changed. They feel like their mindset has changed. They feel like so much has changed for the better.
Amazing conversations. Have met people that we are going to stay in contact with.
Got phone numbers, got socials, all because we were bold enough to open our mouth and speak to people instead of just shrinking and just being a person in line. No, we opened our mouth. We demanded space. We demanded our presence to be seen and heard.
We demanded a couple things.
And we reap the benefits of that by doing that. And it's going to be very, very, very fruitful in terms of a harvest of what comes out of these relationships, what comes out of these connections. So, listen, ask Brie and Lisa, ask BrieandLisa.com, for real. askbrianlisa.com. We are doing our best to be consistent and show up on our website and get more subscribers. So if you can, if any of this resonate, any of this resonated with you, touched you, we encourage you to subscribe to our newsletter on the askbrianlisa.com website.
You can get exclusive updates, in the now.
And we also do free consultations. When it comes to the finance industry, we offer free consultations because we understand that the traditional, financial industry historically has catered to only a certain demographic of people, only a certain tax bracket of people, and we operate different. So if you want to know how we can help you, how we can get you in a better mindset, how we can teach you, how we can give you the tools to empower you
and break those generational curses.
Yeah, so we can give you the tools to empower yourself to go out there and make informed decisions, sound decisions that will help you and your family for generations to come. Free consultations.
Absolutely.
Just go to askbrianlisa.com. That's askbrianlisa.com.
Literally, askbrianlisa.com.
For the YouTube video, we'll put the link in the comments, so be sure to check that out. Ain't that what they do?
Yeah, it is. They're like, point.
Can y'all tell we do at content creation? We've seen it all, but this is our first time just implementing these things. So we'll go ahead and drop the link for that as well. Check us out on Instagram. We're looking to go live a lot more and post more reels. We got Ask Bri and Lisa on Instagram, and then from there you can find our personal pages as well. And then there's Ask Bri and Lisa on LinkedIn, and then we have Ask Bri and Lisa, the financial strategist, on Facebook as well. So check us out. We're everywhere, and on Twitter. I mean, not Twitter. TikTok.
Yes, we are on TikTok. We're on TikTok individually, but we'll get that group one together.
We'll get our Ask Bri and Lisa TikTok together as well.
But yes, you can find us everywhere.
Support us, and if the spirit moves you, your heart moves you to support us. Send a question, send an email. You
have access to that on our website. You can send us an email.
You can send us an email asking us a question. If there's something you want us to cover. If there's something you want us to cover, just let us know, and we'll definitely be more than happy to touch base on things like that. But this has been an amazing. I know it's the second episode of season 2, but it feels like the first episode because it's us. The first episode of season 2, my voice was, unfortunately, I didn't have one. It was gone. It was gone for about 2.5 days.
But it was a lovely interview.
We had an interview with Adikor. The Black Yogi Tribe.
Watch that one too.
Yeah, season 2, episode 1 was awesome. So yes, this has been an amazing episode. We really, really appreciate everyone that's tuned in, that's become fans of ours, that's looking forward to us making new content. Thank you for just showing up for yourself first and foremost.
Yes.
Thank you for showing up for us, because showing up for us is showing up for yourself as well.
Exactly, because we are that reflection. And we're looking to build that solid community. And again, get on that newsletter, subscribe. You can, be the first to know what things. We got a couple of things in the works that's kind of going and brewing. So to learn a little bit more on that, go ahead, subscribe. It'll be released in our newsletter, so everybody will know what's going to happen there.
Right. We'd love to just connect with new people.
And we'll just love to, we'll love to connect. Again, we want to
got a particular skill or business or something,
we're here to help each other. We're here to support you as well. So we're looking to connect. We're looking to connect with like-minded individuals. We're looking to make an impact in the world. So reach out.
And we want to go far, so we want to go together. We don't want to go fast. That's why we're not going alone. Right.
Right.
So
we want to build that community, and we thank you. We thank you for tuning in, tapping in with us. We are very grateful. Our gratitude is very high, y'all. And thank you. And tune in for next podcast.
Next episode.
Next episode.
To the next episode.
It's going to be some good stuff, but you'll see us just showing up as authentically as possible.
Always. So again, you have been watching or listening to the Ask Bree and Lisa podcast. I'm Bree.
And I'm Lisa.
And we're signing off. Have a great one, guys. Peace.